Welcome. This is Ryan 18, the Debrief, episode 64. For everybody listening on the audio podcast, I want to say thank you for the recommendations I've been getting through YouTube. I'm through audio podcast, Stitcher, Amazon. Thanks for all the feedback. I want you to continue to give that feedback. It means a lot through the audio route because that's the way we're going. We want to do more audio going forward. So yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be amazing, and hopefully we can build that audio. The audio fans, because a lot of people don't really watch the video. They tend to watch and listen to it in the car and stuff like that. They're the people we're trying to reach out to as well, not just the YouTube people. But big up to people on the audio, and also big up to the YouTubers as well. And we'll be going on thingy soon as well, TikTok, as soon as we get all that sorted out between TikTok and stuff like that. So I'm going to bring in my Cokies, my partner in crime, TOTO! Abba! Big up to TOTO Hammer. How's it going? Or zoom up a bit. How's it going, TOTO?
Yeah, it's going well. It's going well. It was a good race, but over my day, yeah, it's been going pretty well.
Yeah. So, how's it going? What did you think of Mclaren World Champions?
Yeah, I mean, they've had a dominant season, haven't they? You can't really fault them for it. They were faultless from race 1 to 18. Of course, they had a few DNFs here and there, but they were constantly bagging points. No one can really get near them.
Yeah.
No one can really get near them. Majority of the tracks McLaren were strong at, and they always had that big lead over many drivers, unless it was a safety car, maybe a pit stop issue. But they still came out on top. They're still consistently finishing the podium places. McLaren did, and that's what caused the dominance. I think the first 5-6 races, I think it was over then, in my opinion. McLaren was so dominant this season. Maybe towards the end of the season now, you can see that teams are starting to go on the up. But again, it's too late. McLaren had an absolutely dominant first half of the season. And that's what allowed them, to go and get point after point, and every point counts. And they made it count, man. Every single race McLaren was faultless. They were faultless in pit stops. They were faultless in terms of points. If one driver went out, they always had one winning. But yeah, it was a dominant season for McLaren.
Yeah, man. They did deserve it, McLaren. Yeah, I'm happy for McLaren. 2 years in a row, man. Look how long it took them really to get that. Look how long it took McLaren to get that. To get the constructors championship. And it took them so long, and now it's 2 in a row. You know what I mean? So now we've got that sewn up, yeah. You think, when did you realize that the McLaren was going to win the title?
The first 5 or 6 races, they had such a big point gap. The first 5 or 6 races, because I saw that car, and how dominant there was, and no one really could get near him. And it reminded me a bit when Mercedes had their dominant run with Lewis and Bottas, and another dominant run when they had Lewis and Rosberg. That kind of car, it was just dominant, and no one can really get near him. It was just them two battling that front. That's how it was like in the first 5 or 6 races. Majority of the season, really, McLaren has just been always on top, always battling, being competitive, strong in the qualifying, strong in the race. What can I say? McLaren are champions, aren't they? They had an absolutely amazing season.
Yeah. Yeah, good. I'm sending this on a message. Carry on.
Yeah, I think regarding this weekend though, this was a weekend coming from the start of the weekend, Singapore is it's a hard track. It's very, very hot. FI were putting up heat warnings. It's the hardest and longest race of the calendar. And what was really, really a big affection of this whole weekend we was talking about is dirty air. Dirty air was a very, very big effect. Of course, dirty air is a big effect anyway. Dirty air is a really big effect for this weekend. If you're getting someone's dirty air, it will be very, very hard to overtake. It's hard to overtake here. It's a very, very tight circuit. It's very, very hard to overtake. The only good overtaking opportunities is turn 16, 18, and the main straight. They're the only overtaking options on this track. Going into this track, you have to have track position. Track position is key in this track. The undercut maybe not so powerful here because you need track position. If you want to win, you got to have a good qualifying. If you want to get top, if you want to get good points, you got to have a good qualifying because the undercut won't really work here because there's not enough time maybe to make any ground up. Maybe if it's a track like Monza or something, the undercut will be very, very powerful there. But a track like Singapore, once you're in front, it's like Monaco. Once you're in front, there's really, you can't really overtake here. There's some places, like I says, main straight, but no. 38 was a very, very key factor of this whole Grand Prix, and I think the weekend was actually all right. I think there's more chaos in the practice session. There was 2 red flags recorded in the practice session as well. It was Liam Lawson going off, and I think it was also Russell as well. But I think regarding the teams, again, McLaren looked all right. Mercedes looked good. Red Bull looked good. But it's a kind of track where every team's involved. There's no really we got into this weekend, yeah, McLaren's going to be a dominant one. It's not like that. There's other teams going to be involved. Again, you saw that Aston Martin get a really good result. The RB car, Red Bull 2, getting a decent result, getting points. Mercedes getting points.
Yeah.
Ferrari getting points. There's so much cars that are very, very close to each other going into this track.
Yeah.
But I thought, which was a shocker, Alonso had a really, really good weekend. Really, really good weekend, getting getting first place in the practice one. Of course, Albon, brakes going on fire in practice one due to the heat warning. Again, the hottest track of the calendar. Practice 2, I think Alonso got second as well, second or third, one of those. Aston Martin had a decent weekend, especially Alonso.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Weekend. And also, I think Russell outperformed the car because in practice 1 and 2, when they were doing quali sims, they were saying that sector 2 and 3 were downfalls for McLaren. Were very, very good downfall. Not for McLaren, I mean for Mercedes. Mercedes was a downfall for sector 2 and 3, but Russell overcome that and he outperformed that car. Of course, I had issues in practice 3, but still, if they got that car together, Mercedes would have been strong. But I think the weekend was really, really good, especially the practice. It was an up and down practice. We didn't really know who was going to get pole. We saw Aston Martin's look good, and McLaren's look good, Mercedes looked good, Red Bull looked good. There was so much teams and so much drivers in it. We didn't know who was going to get pole. It weren't like a definite pole. Lander's going to get pole. No, it was very, very, very unpredictable, which was good. It was good in a way. It's good from a neutral point of view. And this weekend, it weren't bad. I think it was a really, really good weekend. And I think it was pretty entertaining, to be fair.
Yeah, you know what? I totally agree, Toto. Sorry I was a bit distracted. I was just doing some stuff like to send some messages. It's important stuff. But I'm back anyway. This is important anyway. So McLaren, big up to McLaren, world champions for two years in a row. Happy for them. So happy for them. And I'm just glad that Red Bull didn't win it. There you go. So anytime that Red Bull doesn't win it, it's always a good day for me. When it comes to me, you, and Red Bull, we've got that relationship, not a very good relationship. Sometimes very toxic at times. But yeah, McLaren all jokes aside, McLaren winning the title, they deserved it. Brilliant combination. Zach Brown came into McLaren when McLaren was nowhere. He brought in the guy. What's his name? I forgot his name now. I was called Mario. I mean Luigi. Brought him in, and Stella, and brought him in, and the combination with them two together, he's making stuff happen. He's making stuff happen at McLaren, and they deserve everything they get. And look, we don't know what's going to happen next year at the when the new regulation change. It's going to be new cars, new engine. We don't know where McLaren's going to be. We all know, for all we know, McLaren could end up being fourth and fifth again, like it was back in the day. But we're here now, and they are world champions, 2025 constructors world champions. So when next year comes, when the new season starts, they come in as the number one team, and they'll be in the number one garage. And being in the number one garage it's got its perks, isn't it? Yeah. You can come in first, get out first as well. So yeah, congratulations to them. Overall season, I think the season kind of winding down a little bit now. We can actually see now who's going to be the champions. Look, for everybody that thought that Max Verstappen was going to win the world title, I told you, man, it was never going to happen. I understand where Formula One are coming from, the Sky. They've got to promote their product, innit? So if they come out with 6 races to go and turn around and say, look, Max Verstappen, he's not going to win the race. I mean, Max Verstappen, he's not going to win. And it's just between the two McLarens, people are not going to watch it, innit? They're just going to go, oh, yeah, whatever. But now because last week, 2 weeks ago, when Max won that race in Baku, that's basically, they've come out and said, look, there's a chance that Max can win it. And if they say that to the people are going to start watching it more, innit? Because a couple of weeks ago, I found out that the TV ratings has dropped in Formula One in the past few months because it looks like McLaren are going to win it, innit? So if you throw another name in the mix, it helps with the ratings. I get it. They do it with wrestling, they do it with football, they do it with the cricket, they do it with darts, they do it with all sports. I get it. Promotion, innit? Yeah. But what it boils down to, reality will kick in, like I told you 2 weeks ago. Max is not going to win no world title this year. He lost the world title in the first half of the season. That's just the way it is. He lost it in the first half of the season. Just like McLaren last season, when a Red Bull won it in the first half of the season, it's the same now. It's between Oscar Piastri, who's probably the favourite looking at it now, and second is Lando Norris. I think the points gap between them two now, I think there's about 15 to 16 points between them. So there's a chance that Lando could catch him.
Lando's back in it now.
Yeah, Lando's back in it. So if there's anyone that can catch Oscar Piastri, it is Lando Norris. Very simple. So, Toto, before we start going into the race, you can start off if you want to. Right out the way we go, if you got anything there. I'll briefly go over the qualifying. It wasn't really much, really. It was kind of, the biggest surprise was Russell getting the qualifying, which is big up to Russell. Nice to see Russell on the podium again. He did rectify that problem he done 2 years ago. Remember when he was in front and he crashed out in the race? It was about 3 seasons ago. He mentioned that when he got his qualifying, that he kind of rectified that. So, qualifying for Q1 first run, Verstappen was laying down the marker. Lando Norris, in the first qualifying, Max Verstappen was basically, he got he was really fast, 137. What are you saying? I'll be back in a minute, 1 second.
Yeah, I'll say from the qualifying, Max looked good in Q1. He set a benchmark time in qualifying 2, set a 129.7, which was kind of the benchmark time. It weren't the fastest time, but it was kind of like a base time where everyone was going to beat. Mercedes was struggling in sector 2 and 3. So was the Aston Martin sector 2 and 3. That's when the track is more slippier, less grip. And sector 2 and 3 is where Mercedes and Aston Martin was struggling. But at the end of qualifying 2, it was Russell, Verstappen, Antonelli, Norris, and Piastri. And that led to a preview in qualifying 3. To qualifying 3. Mercedes looked really, really strong in qualifying 1. Hamilton was first in qualifying 1. And Russell was second in qualifying 1. So you can see Russell's always, teaming with that first position. Russell getting first in qualifying 2. beating the benchmark lap of Max, but the benchmark lap of Max got him second, Antonelli third, fourth Norris, and fifth Piastri. It was between the McLarens, Mercedes, and the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. Like I said, it was a very, very close qualifying. We didn't know who's going to get it.
Sorry about that. So yeah.
But yeah, the results from qualifying 2 is Russell.
Sorry, I'm on Q1. I'm just thinking. Sorry, Piastri getting a yellow card. Remember, I don't know if you mentioned that because I was away. Piastri got a yellow flag. Basically, I don't think he should have got the yellow flag. Personally, I don't think Piastri should have got that yellow flag because all it was, he was driving and then the car in front was just trying to get out of his way. So I don't understand why they brought the yellow flag up. That cost Piastri's time, by the way, in Q1. And he was kind of, I wouldn't say peed off. He was kind of angry. But you know how Piastri's Mr. Cool, and I think they should call Piastri Mr. Smooth Operator, you get me? But anyway, he was kind of like saying to the engineer, and why was there a yellow flag? All the guy was just moving out the way. And it was safe as well. I don't understand why there was a yellow flag. Like they said, they might do.
I think it was a 50-50 explanation because at one side of the argument you can say, the marshals see a car going slow, yeah, it should be yellow flag, and the marshals didn't know if the car had a problem or he was, going out the way from Piastri's, Piastri faster. For me, I wouldn't have put out the yellow flag if you're coming from our point of view. We wouldn't have put out the yellow flag. But coming from the marshal's point of view, he or she probably thought that
they'll do it for Max. Let's just get it right. Come on.
They're probably
they want Max to
get
get back.
The problem.
I personally think they want to get Max back in the drivers' championship. They know that the McLarens are running away from it. So there's any little chance they could give him right, they're going to give it him because he was setting the fastest sector 1 and sector 2. Now in sector 1 he was the fastest Piastri, and in sector 2 he looks like he was going to come fastest. But what happened? They brought the yellow flag out. There was no need for the yellow flag. There was absolutely no need. What it was is the driver that was in front of Piastri moved out of the way in a safe way. It was just happened in a split second. So I don't understand why they brought the yellow flag out. I don't understand if he was stopped on the track. If the car stopped on the track and Piastri was doing his lap and they brought out the yellow flag, I get it. I get that. But he wasn't. All he did was he was driving. He moved out the way. Piastri passed him on his lap. And he didn't really impede him in any way. He was still up, in his sector. And they brought the yellow flag out and then he had to slow down. It compromised his lap. In my opinion, there was no need for it, TOTO, in my opinion.
Yeah, there was no need for it. Piastri's on a fast lap and the guy was just getting out the way for Piastri. That's all it was.
Exactly. Really. What you expect to do, stand there and crash?
I know.
It is what it is. Anyway.
It happens every race, isn't it? It happens every race.
No, we're not qualifying.
No. Yeah, I mean, every qualifying, when a driver's getting out of the way, they never put out the yellow flag.
Exactly.
It's just for the fast lap.
So at the end of Q1, Hamilton was the fastest. Russell was 2 and Norris was 3. So Hamilton showing speed as always in Q1. Don't you think it's a bit, talking about Lewis Hamilton, don't you think it's a bit suspicious where all of a sudden Lewis Hamilton is fast in Q1, he's fast in Q2, he's fast in practice, and as soon as he gets to the Q3, the last stint, his car falls away. It's like he comes into the garage and they just tinker with his car. I know they probably don't because that's a stupid thing to say, but I'm not really the cleverest person in the book. But don't you think that was a bit suspicious that his time just suddenly fell away in Q3?
Yeah, you can see. I thought Ferrari had a decent weekend as well. I thought Hamilton had decent practice. And there was high hope from going into the qualifying. He looked really good. Q1, Q2 looked really, really good. But when it comes to the benchmark, when it comes to the last time of the qualifying, they never really seemed to nail the car, Ferrari. Not for Lewis especially. They never seemed to nail the car for him. But we don't know what's going on there. We can speculate, but we don't know what's going on. But there can be questions, concerned. I see lots of people online raising questions as what's going on with Ferrari. Ferrari was so excited for Lewis to come into Ferrari, into the team for this good car, but they're not giving Lewis a good car. the Ferrari as a whole, even Leclerc, the Ferrari as a whole hasn't been really a good car. So yeah, we've got to bring on Ferrari for next season.
Yeah. That's what it is, man. We'll see what happens when next year comes. Obviously, the new regulations kick in, and it's going to be cool. You get me? It's going to be cool. So, Q2, Russell at the fastest. Nothing really happened in Q2. At the end of Q2, the fastest was Russell, Verstappen, and Antonelli. So, Antonelli showing a little bit of speed there. Should be really, because Russell was showing it. Antonelli there. The only thing with Antonelli, big up to Antonelli, yeah. But the only thing with Antonelli, he can show speed, but when he gets to those crucial moments, he battles it.
Yeah.
That's what I don't know how you think about it. That's what I think. When he
You can see Antonelli's a good driver, and I think in the race he does really well in the race. Sometime, but when it comes to track position, which was vital at this track, you got to nail track position. You just didn't he? And he always, when it comes to the last part, he always gets yellow sector. He don't really improve on his personal best, really. But yeah, I see where you're coming from.
I just think like when it gets to those crucial moments, yeah. When it gets to those crucial moments, he bottles it. That's what it seems like to me. Big up to everyone watching us anyway in the house on YouTube. This is the most we've ever got at one time on. Maybe because we've done it straight away. We didn't wait till the next day, Toto. We take your advice. You was right, Toto. You did say do the video straight away and we'll get the views. You said it, and this is what I'm going to start to do from now on. You know, as soon as it finishes, do it straight away. Don't wait. So when you wait, there's something else to do the next day, and then everything gets discombobulated. But anyway, let's go back to the racing. Enough of me chatting crap. Anyway, Q3, Piastri scraped the wall. So it looks like he was struggling with understeer. This is your department, Toto Hammer. Understeer. Piastri was struggling with understeer in the corners. What do you think of this?
But yeah, understeer is basically where
the last 3 attempts as well.
You're not really getting enough rotation in the car.
Yeah.
Which was, you know, when you don't have enough rotation in your car, it's going to cost you a lot of time. It's good that you weren't getting oversteer. So oversteer is where the car gets turned too much and you're over rotating. It was just understeer, maybe struggling with rear grip Piastri. But I think McLaren nailed that down. Going into Q3. But yeah, understeer definitely loses you a lot of time, and you know, considering you're on about Q2 now, aren't you?
Q3. I just sent you on the thing.
Oh yeah, Q3. He got third in Q3, so a decent position. But I'm sure McLaren now narrowed down that understeer.
He didn't get thing. No, he didn't get third. Piastri scraped the wall. Still got good time. 3 attempts off his first, which was Russell, Max, and second. Still,
it was that part of the track as well, because that part of the track where understeer really happens. It was the slippy part of the track. Sectors 2, especially 3, the very, very slippy part of the track that you got to nail. So
the base at the end of the pole was Russell, Max, and Lando Norris. That was the qualifying time. So Russell got a surprisingly fast time. He was showing a bit of promise in Q2, but Russell got it, man. So look, making up for it happened a couple of years ago as well, which we'll go into the race as well in a minute. So what you think of Russell getting it? McLaren was slow in all sectors, and Russell got the reason why Russell beat Max the pole, because Max at one point looked like he was going to get pole, but the reason why Russell beat Max the pole, because they'd done the sector, you know, the different sectors and the maps on that on TV. McLaren was actually faster than Red Bull in the straights. All the other small, slow speed sectors, the sections of the track, Max Verstappen was winning, but you know, in the straights, Russell was making up on the straights, and that's the reason why Russell got pole. So what would you think of Russell getting pole?
He looked strong. He looked really, really strong. All qualifying, he looked strong. Qualifying 2, he did get first. Qualifying 1, he got second. And qualifying 3, he got the pole, didn't he? Struggled in practice 3. Again, practice 2, he looked good on his quali. And all Mercedes needs to do is just fix up the car for qualifying. And we all knew Mercedes was going to do strong. All qualifying, Russell looked really strong, and he was definitely in the run for pole. And congratulations to Russell. He outperformed that car in sector 3 as well. Outperformed the car, got the fastest sector. And it's good to see when the driver outperforms the car. You know, it shows how much talent and skill they have. Russell's a really, really good driver. First for Russell, congratulations to him.
Big up to everybody watching. We've got 9 people watching at the moment. Big up to everybody on this Sunday afternoon. I've just put a poll in the chat. It says, who will win the driver's title? Is it Lando or is it Piastri? It's a simple click on it. Start the poll. That's something for you guys to get involved with. For the people on audio, I've just said it because I know you guys can't do it because you listen on audio. But if you want to, and you can always come over and subscribe on the YouTube channel. So, for me, Norris went too early. He messed up his lap. In my opinion, he went too early. If he wouldn't have messed up and he got caught up in the dirty air, he messed up his lap. That's the reason why he didn't get in the top 3, in my opinion. I thought Norris would have had a chance, but he just didn't work out for him, in my opinion. It just didn't work out for him. But it is what it is. We're going to start, before we start getting onto the race review, I want everybody to smack those like buttons. I'll just give you that TOTO on the private. I want everybody, that's my own thing for the race day. I want everybody to like the video. We have 11 people watching us now. Can you please like the video? It is free. We do football on here. We do Formula 1. We do the women's football as well. I want everybody to like the video. Remember, guys, like the video. I'm back. There you go. Race day. You want to start off with it, Toto, or you want me to start?
No, I want to start off it. So lap 1, Russell had a really good start. He avoided all the collisions at the back. You can see the first corner, Singapore. It's very, very tight corner, so you can have a little bit of contact there. Russell got away clean there. He was good to go. Norris got the better of Piastri going into the start. There was a little bit of a collision between Norris and Piastri because Norris tagged the back of Max Verstappen, which caused him to lose control and accidentally swerve into Piastri. I don't think it was Norris. I don't think it was Norris's fault. I think it was a racing incident. Everyone was bunched up. Norris wanted to accelerate and then he accidentally misjudged it and tagged the back of Max, but he lost control of his car. He couldn't really do nothing. It wasn't like he purposely swerved into Piastri. He tagged the back of the Verstappen. He had some oversteer, and he just swerved into Piastri accidentally. It wasn't really weren't really a purposely swerve. It didn't really cause damage to Piastri's car a bit more. It caused more damage to Lando's car, which he had front end plate damage, which didn't change the wing. He kept with that for the whole of the race. Norris received front end plate damage, but personally, I think it was a racing incident. There's nothing Norris could do. It was a tight space.
I totally agree, Toto. At the end of the day, it was there's nothing Lando could have done. I think Piastri was trying to fend off Max Verstappen, right? That's what it looked like to me when Russell got a brilliant start. So did Max as well, to be fair. But Max was kind of more distracted with Piastri, even though when he got to that corner. So Lando saw an opening and he went for it. And that's it. And the reason why Lando's his front wing, his end plate, whatever, damaged, is because Piastri was trying to swerve. Max was trying to swerve Piastri, and then when Max swerved, Lando went into the back of him. Went into the back of Piastri. That's the only reason why it happened. So basically, this is my opinion. Lando had a better traction, right, in that corner. And he was trying to avoid Max in it.
Yeah.
In that first corner, he had better traction than Piastri. Piastri looked like he was off a bit on the right hand side. He looked like he was swerving a bit. Lando with the best traction. He went into that first corner, and he clipped him. And it was an accident. It was a racing incident. And when they called it up on the radio, and they kept talking about it on the radio, I knew it was going to be a racing incident because if you watch it in slow motion, it didn't intentionally go into him. You get me? He was just trying to swerve him. And that's what you do in a race. What you're going to do, just leave your car there and go into the back of someone's car and damage your car. Lando had the best traction into that corner. And for me, it was a racing incident.
If you look at it, where the Lando's wheel was pointed, it was pointing more to the left. He tried to swerve away from Piastri.
Exactly.
Again, when you lose control of your car and get oversteer, you can't really control that.
Exactly.
There's so much G-force going into that wheel, you can't really control when oversteer happens and he swerves into Piastri. You can't really control that. Racing incident, in my opinion. Which it was incident. So the compound, Russell was on the medium, Verstappen was on soft, McLaren were both on the mediums, and the Ferrari were both on the mediums. So you could continue. I'm just gonna say I think it was a mistake for Red Bull
starting the soft tyres. I don't know what they was doing
Yeah,
there. Didn't
I
make
think
sense.
regarding a hot track, the soft tyres will last you 10-15 laps, depends how you nurse them. But Max Verstappen was on an aggressive strategy. I think his strategy was probably to try and get the jump on Russell because he's on softer tyres and you get a better launch after start, just the way it is. You're on soft tyres with less rubber compared to mediums, more a thicker tyre. You'll get a better run. But again, that didn't really work out for Max, which I think threw his strategy out the window. And again, when you're on a soft tyres as well, it forces a early tyre management scheme. You have to lift and coast very, very early into the race, which will lose you a lot of time. Compared to Russell, however, Russell can push on their medium tyres because it's a thicker tyre, thicker rubber, and it'll last longer. It's got less grip compared to the softs, but again, the tyre life for that medium is much, much better compared to the softs, obviously. But that allowed Max Verstappen to lift and coast more earlier, which allowed Russell to, again, he was in Russell's dirty air as well, which is even worse. Russell was in clean air on the medium tyres, so less wear on his medium tyres, and, you know, he controlled the pace from there, didn't he?
Yeah. So lap 18, McLaren were doing the fake pitting. They tried to pretend to pit. They brought the guys out, you know how they do it in Formula One, and
Yeah.
they come out and do that fake pitting. Nobody fell for it. So lap 20, Max pitted, put on the hard tyres. There was a delay in Max pitting, you know. He came into the pits with some sort of delay. Don't know what it was. Kind of rare for Red Bull, innit, to have delay. Lap 22, free to race. Max said, basically McLaren said you're free to race. Lap 23, they said the race is against us. So Max came on the radio to his engineer and said, look, the race is against us. Because Max was, I think he was complaining about his car, that it wasn't steering right into the corners. And he said that there was a little delay in the pits and it kind of cost him. But after that, Max started getting fast his lap, so he didn't really cost him. He said he did make up the time in the end. But Max Verstappen showing negativity in that. So we're on lap 25 now, Toto, if you got that one. Right, Lewis.
Yeah. It's lap 25, Hamilton pitting from mediums to hard tyres. I think this was the preferred strategy from all the people.
Yeah.
Going from mediums to hards. Since it's a much harder track, hards will warm up a lot quicker, which will benefit them in the long run. It's a kind of similar, not a similar strategy to Max, but Max went from the softs to hards and he nursed them hards all the way to the end of the race because hards were going to the end of the race anyway. But with the medium strategy, he's going long on the mediums, try and get the overcut, and then go for the hard towards the end. I think it was a good strategy. It was a decent strategy, the safe strategy anyway, from mediums to hards. But yeah, it was a good pit stop from Lewis. Lewis has got on a decent race with from there.
Yeah, because lap 26, Norris pits and Piastri as well. Lap 28, there was a slight delay with Piastri when he came into the pits, a left rear delay of 5 seconds. Just like 2 weeks ago with Lando Norris in Baku, there was a delay in the front rear tyre. For some reason, McLaren have not been really, good with their pits. That's two races in a row now. They've cost their drivers a bit of time. I don't think if over the overall race, it would have cost them the place where they finished. But, it would have been less work on the tyres trying to catch Max, innit, if they would have got the pit right. So what do you think? What was your thoughts on Lando being delayed and Oscar being delayed in the pits?
Oscar, yeah. I mean, Oscar, it weren't really the overcut he was trying to do. He was just trying to lessen the gap between him and Lando. And then it was a 5.2 second slow stop. So Norris extended the gap over Piastri. So there was really not really any chance that Piastri would catch up Lando due to the dirty air. But yeah, it was on McLaren's fault. They haven't really been up to scratch in a pit lane recently. McLaren. But yeah, 5.2 seconds, absolutely slow stop. It lost him track position as well. And Norris extended the gap too.
That's it, man. So lap 37, Max locks up. I was laughing. Not like that, but it is what it is. I don't know, I've just got a laughing emoji on my notes. I've got lap 37, Matt locks up, and I've got a laughing emoji. Anyway, lap 40, the rear is like a handbrake. That's what Max was complaining about. His rear brake was like a handbrake. So basically, I told you he was struggling in them corners. Brake balance wasn't correct. That's what they were saying on the TV. Martin
Yeah.
Brundle. I tend to listen to Martin Brundle because Brundle knows his stuff, innit? So he said the brake balance was not good. So it is what it is. Lap 41, lap 49 total.
Lap 40. Lap 40. Max was struggling with rear grip. So I got down, and he was only
No, I don't know. Yeah.
He was behind Max. He was 6/10 away from Max. Lando was 6/10 away from Max's DRS range. And when Max was struggling with rear grip and he was locking up, Lando was getting closer and closer.
Yeah, that was on lap 40, yeah.
And he was struggling with dirty air. Lando was struggling with dirty air.
Yeah.
Which was very, very
that's
vital.
what cost him in qualifying.
Yeah.
He went too early. And when he was on his last sector of finishing the lap on qualifying, he got in the dirty air of a car and his car just started like understeering. And that cost him a lot of time in qualifying. I don't know what it is with that McLaren TOTO. They're not good in dirty air, are they? You know,
no.
These new cars, Grand Effector cars, they're supposed to eliminate that, and it didn't do it. It was a failure.
Yeah,
it was a failure. That's why I said they made this era for Max Verstappen. You get me? They knew that the Red Bull car was going to be good in the ground effect. They knew that Adrian knew he had a thesis in ground effect. This is why they made it for Max Verstappen. They knew everything was designed for him, because at the end of the day, even though McLaren's winning, yeah, they're going to win the title. They've won the constructors. They're going to win the drivers' title, yeah. I just don't understand this point of this generation of cars. We're right that the McLaren they're not good in dirty air. I'm baffled that they still haven't worked it out. Maybe they've gave up about these regulations, and now it's coming to it, and they don't really care. But you would think at this point of the regulations, you could find. I think McLaren's the only car that can't follow with the dirty air. You're right, Toto.
Yeah, McLaren was struggling with dirty air nearly all race.
Yeah.
And also when the back markers also got involved,
it
was getting even worse. Lando every corner was losing 2/10, 3/10, 5/10 at one time. He did have a little slip and was behind Max as well. Lost about 1.5 seconds just after that little slip because he was in the dirty air of Max.
Max was struggling in the clean air.
Will cause him to lose control. But Max had rear problems and brake problems
in the clean air.
Yeah. So again, Norris still couldn't catch him.
No, you can't overtake here. It's nearly virtually impossible. Yeah. That's what I said. Remember, I said before the race, I said it on qualifying. No, I said it on the preview. I said that with this track, not always the fastest car wins. It's who's in front first. If you can get a jump on someone at the beginning, you basically win the race. Yeah. Unless the safety car don't come out, you can win the race. It's like Monaco, basically, Toto. It's a little bit like Monaco. It's a cross between Monaco and Baku. It's one of these tracks. There's not really many parts of the track where you can overtake.
Yeah.
And once you're in front, you win it. That's basically what Singapore is. So lap 41, Norris was struggling in the dirty air. Lost 1 second when he was chasing Max Verstappen. Lap 47, Lewis was free out and stop. He came out, put the soft tires on, and he done well. Lewis was catching up everyone. He got himself into 7th place. He passed. He didn't pass. What's his name? What's his team? I forgot his name now. What's his name? It's Ferrari. I just got a brain fart. He didn't pass Leclerc. Leclerc moved over. He would have passed him anyway, but Leclerc moved over. That was instructions from Ferrari. And when he passed him, he was catching up to Antonelli. Would have got himself into 7th place. And all of a sudden, boom, his brake goes. His disc brake goes on his car. You saw sparks in it.
Yeah.
What did you think at this point?
Yeah, I thought all that strategy for Lewis went down the drain. Pitted for the soft. He had a 50-second free pit stop. And yeah, why not? You're not going to lose anything, are you? You got nothing to lose. And it did work out for him. Leclerc moved over for him, as he should. Hamilton was much, much quicker. There's no point of holding Lewis up in the dirty air. He's on the soft tyres as well. So he was having that absolutely amazing race. Was going to pass Antonelli. And then I saw spark coming out his brake. Because his brake disc failed. I don't know how can a brake disc fail? It allowed him to continue. But yeah, it was a shame. It was a shame what happened to Lewis. He would have got a good position as well. He was running a decent race. consistent races well, no really mistakes. And the brake disc failed. Formula One, anything can happen. Is what it is. But again, the FIA slaps the penalty on him for track limits for no reason. We get it for track limits, but when someone's got brake problems, they can't really control that, can they? They can do their best to rate the track limits, but usually when someone has a problem with the car or any brake problems, if they can't really make the corner, they can find an alternative to make the corner, which by any means going off the track. He's got no choice. He's having brake problems. He's losing time anyway. Every corner's losing time. So I don't think there was any point of slapping a 5-second time penalty, but that allowed Alonso to eventually go ahead of him in that race. So I think it was an absolutely stupid decision from the FIA. Absolutely stupid decision.
Yeah.
It was a stupid decision. How can you control track limits? You've got brake problems.
Lewis got a 5-second time penalty.
Yeah, no, it was a stupid decision.
Yeah, it's absolutely diabolical. Now, if that was the case, why didn't they just say to Lewis, you know what? We're going to look at it this way. If they would have said to Lewis, no, Lewis, you got to bring the car in and you've got to retire the car because of the rules, that would have been even worse, isn't it? But at least now, we got a 5-second time penalty. Don't he still finish with points? He still finished with some points, doesn't he?
He does, but he's below Alonso.
Yeah, but if he still finished with points, they could have said to him, okay, you got to retire the car, and they would have ended up with no points.
They should have gave him the black and orange flag, which could mechanical issue. You have to retire the car. They should have done that.
That would have been worse because he would have finished with no points.
Yeah, but if they're going to give him a penalty,
Yeah, but at least he finished with points. Don't you think this is personally, I wouldn't have gave him nothing. I don't think he deserved it. He wasn't in no danger. Nothing was falling off the car. You get me? Nothing was falling off the car. He wasn't driving into nobody. He was on his own. The only person was behind him was Alonso. Alonso was at 1 point 45 seconds behind him, and because of his brake issues, his brake disc problems, Alonso caught him up. So where was the danger?
Lewis finished 8th regardless.
There was no danger, and as I see it, Toto, he shouldn't even got the penalty. How about that one?
Yeah, he shouldn't have got the penalty.
Shouldn't have got the penalty. And it is what it is, isn't it? We know what it's like. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the final results. Can you bring it up on there, Toto? On yours? You want me to? I can do it actually. Let me just bring it up on the screen. We can get the final results, and we can do the constructors, and then we can finish there, and then that'll be us done. So let's do the results at Singapore. So these are the race results. Let's bring them up. Got it. I'm going to pin up. And for people listening on audio, I will say, don't worry, I'm just not going to just show it to the YouTubers. I will look after the audio guys as well. So there we go. So we've got the race winner. Let's go to the top there. It's more better now. There you go. So we got the race winner, George Russell. Let's take this off the screen. Enough promoting. Anyway, George Russell, number 1. Max Verstappen 2. 3 Lando Norris. 4 Piastri. 5 Kimi Antonelli. 6th place Charles Leclerc. 7th place Lewis Hamilton. 8th place Fernando Alonso. 9th place Oliver Bierman. 10th place Carlos Sainz. 11th place Isaac Hadjar. 12th place Yuki Tsunoda. 13th place Lance Stroll. 14th place Alexander Albon. 15th place Liam Lawson. 16th place Frank Colapinto. 17th place Gabriel Bolatelli. 18th Esteban Ocon. 19th Pierre Gasly. 20th Nico Hülkenberg. So let's go with the team. So we got McLaren, world champions with 650 points. In second, Mercedes. So it's a really from now, it's a race who comes second in the constructors. Yeah. I would say it's between Red Bull Racing, Ferrari, because Red Bull's got 290, Ferrari 300, and Mercedes 325. It's between those 3 teams who's going to get second place in the constructors. That could swing either way. So with the constructors on top, world champions McLaren, second Mercedes, 3rd place Ferrari 300, 4th place Red Bull Racing with 290, 5th place Williams in 102, 6th place Racing Bulls with 72, 7th place, Aston Martin with 66 points. 8th place, Sauber with 55 points. 9th place, Haas with 46. And last, Alpine with 20 points. Now, let's have a look at the Drivers' Championship. This is what we all waited for. Let's zoom that up so we can see it better. So, as you can see there, the Oscar Piastri, 336 points. 2nd place, Lando, 314. So he's gained the points on him. 3rd place, Max Verstappen, 273. So he's basically more or less gone. 4th place, George Russell, with 237 points. Charles Leclerc, 5th place with 173. Disappointed by Ferrari, man. Disappointed. Look where they are. Disappointed. 6th place, Lewis Hamilton with 127 points. 7th place, Kimi Antonelli with 88 points. 8th place, Alexander Albon with 70 points. 9th place, Isaac Hadjar, my G, 39 points. 10th place, Nico Hülkenberg with 37 points. 11th place, Fernando Alonso with 34 points. 12th place, Carlos Sainz with 32 points. Again with 32 points, Lance Stroll with 13th. 14th, Liam Lawson with 30 points. 15th place, Esteban Ocon with 28 points. And 16th, Pierre Gasly with 20 points. 17th place, Yuki Tsunoda with 20 points. 18th place, Gabriel Balotelli with 18 points. 19th place, Oliver BMM with 18 points. And 21, Jack Doohan and Franco Colapinto with 0 points. Toto hammer. So that is it. So there you go. That is round 18, Toto, of the debrief in the bag. So what are you saying before we head off? What have you got coming up on your channel?
I say it was a good weekend.
Side? Yeah, go on.
It was a really good weekend. I say I semi-part enjoyed it. I think there's a lot of action in the practice, a lot of action in the qualifying, some action in the race as well. Kept us thinking, kept us guessing. There was some battles there as well, especially first turn. But yeah, it was a decent weekend. What's coming up on my channel? Again, I'm streaming later today. I'll be on Formula One. But that's it really from me.
Yeah, man. I can't believe episode 64 of the debrief, Toto.
Yeah.
Episode 64 of the debrief, man. You know what I'm saying? We still got them 2 episodes we got to do from last year. I'm gonna put it in somewhere after it, you know, it's one of them, and we can just talk crap for 10 minutes and that's an episode. So yeah, big up to everybody. Smack the like buttons. Yeah. If you listen to the audio, remember guys, smack the like buttons. I decided to put this at the end. There you go. Smack the like buttons and like the video. Stop watching it. Just 9 or 10 people watching and not liking the video. Just like the video. It's free. It's so annoying sometimes, you know. Just like the video. It's free. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're off. I will be back to Tuesday. We'll be back Tuesday. I'm doing the Champions League starts on Tuesday. The women's football starts on Tuesday. Tuesday and Wednesday will be the Women's Champions League, and I'll be doing watch along Barcelona women. I think Chelsea, Man City's playing as well. So I'll be doing all the watch along for that. But until then, I'm going to take a little break, Monday off. And that's it, man. We're done. We're finished, Toto.
Yeah.
You can go and run 8 miles now and hit the wall. No, I'm joking. Hit the wall. I like that song, you know. Anyway, got Toto. We're heading off then, Toto. Say goodbye. Bye, people.
See you, everyone.
Anyway, see you later, guys. Big up. And the audio podcasters, recommend this audio to your family and friends. I will be uploading later on as well, like I promised you yesterday, and I did. See you later, guys.
See you.
Toto. Boom.